Walmart is where millions of Americans shop every single week. Low prices, convenience, a way to feed your family without overspending. But what if those bargains are quietly costing you more than you think? Many of the most common Walmart foods are engineered to look affordable and wholesome while hiding ingredients most shoppers never notice. Misleading labels, heavy processing, shortcuts your body pays for over time. Today, we expose 12 Walmart foods that may be doing more harm than good, including one item. Families buy constantly without questioning what is actually inside it. By the end, you will look at your grocery cart very differently. 12. Great value frozen chicken nuggets. It's a busy weeknight, the kids are starving, you're exhausted, and the freezer calls your name. Great value. Frozen chicken nuggets seem like the perfect rescue. Quick, affordable, kid-approved. But here's the truth hiding behind that colorful bag. These aren't the simple chicken pieces families expect. Flip the package over and you'll find an ingredient list that reads more like a science project than a wholesome dinner. Mechanically separated chicken, sodium phosphates, modified food starch, and autolyzed yeast extract all make appearances. The chicken itself is formed and pressed, meaning it's not whole muscle meat, but a mixture of various parts blended and shaped into those familiar nugget forms. The sodium content is alarming. A single serving of 5 nuggets packs around 470 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly 20% of your entire daily limit before you even add ketchup or dipping sauce. For children whose sodium needs are significantly lower, this becomes a real concern with regular consumption over time. Then there's the breading. Made from enriched wheat flour stripped of natural fiber and nutrients, it causes a rapid blood sugar spike followed by the inevitable crash, leaving kids irritable, unfocused, and hungry again within an hour of eating. If quick dinners matter to your family, these might seem harmless. But the next item on our list is something you probably ate for lunch today. 11. Great value mac and cheese. There's something undeniably comforting about macaroni and cheese. That warm, creamy, cheesy goodness brings back childhood memories with every single bite. Great value. Mac and cheese delivers that experience for under $1. But comfort and nutrition are two very different things. Open that familiar blue box and here's what you're really getting. The pasta is made from enriched wheat flour, meaning the natural fiber and minerals have been completely stripped away during processing. What's left is refined carbohydrates that your body treats almost like sugar, spiking blood glucose levels rapidly and leaving you hungry again soon after eating. The cheese sauce is where things get interesting. That bright orange powder isn't traditional cheese at all. It's a blend of whey protein concentrate, milk, derivatives, sodium phosphate, and artificial coloring designed to mimic cheese without actual aged cheese. One prepared serving delivers around 570 milligrams of sodium while providing very little protein or fiber to balance things out. Kids love this stuff, and parents love the price point. But nutritionally, you're looking at empty calories dressed up in comfort food packaging. There's no real satiation here. The refined carbs burn fast, and the artificial ingredients provide absolutely nothing your body actually needs to thrive. When you eat it, the flavor hits immediately. Salty, vaguely cheesy, and familiar. But satisfaction fades quickly as blood sugar crashes and hunger returns with a vengeance. And speaking of foods that burn fast and leave you wanting more, the next one might be starting your mornings on the wrong foot entirely. 10. Great value white bread. Soft, fluffy, and perfectly sliced. Great value white bread has become a breakfast staple in millions of American homes across the country. It's affordable, versatile, and makes everything from sandwiches to toast in minutes. But that familiar loaf is hiding nutritional problems most shoppers never stop to consider. The main ingredient is enriched bleached flour. That means the wheat has been stripped of its bran and germ, removing nearly all natural fiber, vitamins, and minerals in the process. What remains is pure starch that your body rapidly converts into glucose. Eating 2 slices spikes your blood sugar almost as quickly as eating table sugar would. A 2-slice serving contains around 140 calories but delivers less than 1 gram of fiber. Compare that to whole grain bread, which typically offers 3 to 4 grams per serving. That fiber slows digestion, keeps you feeling full longer, and prevents the energy roller coaster that refined grains inevitably create. The ingredient list also includes high fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, and preservatives, like calcium propionate to extend shelf life well beyond what's natural. These additives aren't doing your health any favors. They're simply keeping the bread soft longer than nature ever intended it to last. Starting your day with this bread sets you up for spikes and crashes, and if that's how your day starts, the next item makes it worse. 9. Market-side cinnamon rolls. Few things smell as inviting as freshly baked cinnamon rolls on a weekend morning. That warm, sweet aroma drifting through the kitchen makes weekend mornings feel special. Market-side cinnamon rolls from Walmart's bakery section capture that experience perfectly. But behind that irresistible scent is a nutritional profile that should give anyone serious pause before indulging. Let's start with sugar. A single cinnamon roll from this line can contain upwards of 30 grams of sugar. That's more than the American Heart Association recommends adults consume in an entire day, all packed into one breakfast pastry. The hop sweetness comes from multiple sources, including high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, and traditional sugar layered throughout. The dough itself is made from refined, enriched flour, meaning zero fiber to slow digestion down. Add palm oil and vegetable shortening, and you're looking at a product high in saturated fats and potentially containing trace amounts of trans fats depending on formulation. One roll can easily deliver over 400 calories before you've even had your morning coffee. That's roughly a fifth of most people's daily caloric needs wrapped in one single pastry. And because there's no protein or fiber to provide lasting satisfaction, hunger returns quickly despite the heavy calorie load. If you're craving something sweet, an occasional treat won't hurt, but the next item pretends to be a treat while hiding even more concerning ingredients inside. 8. Great value ice cream sandwiches. There's something nostalgic about ice cream sandwiches, that soft chocolate wafer. Pressing against cold vanilla cream takes most people straight back to childhood summers and carefree days. Great value ice cream sandwiches deliver that experience at a fraction of brand name prices. But what you're actually eating might surprise you. First, let's address what's not in these sandwiches. Real cream and traditional dairy play a smaller role than you'd expect. Instead, the ingredient list features skim milk, corn syrup, and whey as primary components. The creamy texture comes largely from guar gum, mono, and diglycerides and carrageenan. These stabilizers keep the product smooth, but they're industrial additives, not kitchen ingredients you'd recognize or use at home. One sandwich contains around 160 calories, 19 grams of carbohydrates, and 13 grams of sugar. That sugar comes from multiple sources, including corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup working together. There's minimal protein, virtually no fiber, and nothing that provides actual nutritional benefit to your body whatsoever. The wafers are made from enriched flour, palm oil, and cocoa processed with alkali. Processing cocoa this way removes many natural antioxidants that make chocolate potentially beneficial for health. What remains is flavor without the health compounds your body could actually use. When you bite into one, the texture is pleasant enough, cool, soft, and sweet. But satisfaction is fleeting. Your blood sugar spikes, then crashes hard, leaving you wanting another. If frozen treats have hidden problems, wait until you hear about something marketed as healthy. The next item sits in the dairy aisle with a very misleading label. If you're learning something new here, hit subscribe and keep these eye-opening breakdowns coming. 7. Equate low-fat yogurt. Low-fat sounds healthy. For decades, we've been told that cutting fat is the path to better nutrition and a slimmer waistline. So when shoppers see Equate low-fat yogurt in Walmart's dairy section, it seems like a smart choice. Affordable, creamy, and positioned as a lighter breakfast option. But the reality is far more complicated than the label suggests. When manufacturers remove fat from yogurt, they face a problem. Fat provides flavor, creaminess, and satisfaction that keeps you full. Without it, yogurt tastes thin and bland. The solution? Add sugar. And that's exactly what happens here. A single serving of flavored Equate low-fat yogurt can contain anywhere from 15 to 20 grams of sugar. That's as much as some candy bars hidden inside something positioned as a health food for the whole family. The sugar comes in various forms, including cane sugar, fructose, and fruit, concentrates that sound natural but act the same in your body. The protein content is modest, usually around 5 grams per serving, but the sugar-to-protein ratio is completely inverted from what genuinely healthy yogurt should offer. You're consuming a dessert disguised as breakfast without even realizing it. The ingredient list also includes modified cornstarch, artificial flavors, and colorings that have no business being in yogurt. Traditional yogurt needs only milk and live cultures to be complete. This product needs much more than that. When you eat it, the sweetness dominates immediately. The texture is smooth, but satisfaction disappears quickly as sugar hits your bloodstream. Thinking that's the worst misleading label? The next item melts perfectly on burgers, but barely qualifies as real cheese at all. 6. Great value cheese singles. They melt beautifully. They fit perfectly on burgers, sandwiches, and grilled cheese every single time. Great value cheese singles are a refrigerator staple in countless American households across the nation. But that smooth, uniform texture comes at a nutritional cost most shoppers never realize. These aren't actually cheese. By legal definition, they're classified as pasteurized prepared cheese product. That classification exists because the actual cheese content is diluted with water, milk protein concentrate, whey, and sodium citrate to stretch production. The result behaves like cheese, but contains far less of what makes real cheese nutritious and satisfying. One slice contains around 60 calories and delivers roughly 250 milligrams of sodium. That sodium adds up quickly when you stack 2 or 3 slices on a burger or sandwich. And because the protein content is lower than real cheese while the sodium runs higher, you're getting a nutritionally compromised product every single time you reach for the package. The ingredient list features emulsifiers like sodium phosphate and sorbic acid as a preservative to extend shelf life. These additives keep the product stable and perfectly meltable, but they also mean you're consuming more chemicals and less actual dairy with every slice you eat. Real cheese is made from milk, salt, enzymes, and thyme. These singles are made from cheese, derivatives, milk proteins, and industrial processing designed for maximum shelf stability and minimum production cost. The taste is mild, somewhat salty, and undeniably familiar. It melts into that perfect gooey texture everyone expects. But familiarity doesn't equal quality. If processed cheese seems concerning, wait until you see the calorie bomb hiding in Walmart's refrigerated pizza section right now. 5. Market-side pepperoni. Pizza. Pizza night is sacred in many households across America. It's easy. Everyone loves it. And market-side pepperoni pizza from Walmart's refrigerated section makes it even more convenient. Just pop it in the oven and dinner is ready in minutes. But that convenience comes with a nutritional price tag most families never stop to calculate. Let's start with the crust. Made from refined enriched flour, it offers virtually no fiber and spikes blood sugar rapidly. The dough also contains added sugars, vegetable oils, and preservatives to maintain freshness on the shelf. This is an artisan pizza dough made with care. It's engineered for shelf life and cost efficiency above all else. Now look at the toppings. The pepperoni delivers that familiar, salty, slightly spicy flavor everyone craves on pizza night. But processed pepperoni is loaded with sodium nitrate, sodium nitrite, and saturated fat. A single serving can contain over 800 milligrams of sodium, and most people eat 2 or 3 servings in one sitting without thinking twice. A typical meal means consuming over 1,000 calories and more than a day's worth of sodium in one sitting. When baked, it looks and smells exactly like pizza should. Golden cheese, crispy edges, that familiar comfort, but your body pays for every bite. The next item looks natural, but isn't even close. 4. Great value maple syrup. Imitation. There's something special about maple syrup. When you see great value maple syrup on the shelf, that's exactly what comes to mind. But flip the bottle over and the truth becomes painfully clear. This product is labeled as imitation maple syrup, though that small word is easy to miss when shopping quickly through the aisles. The first ingredient isn't maple anything. It's corn syrup. The second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Together, they form a product that contains 0 actual maple syrup in many formulations on the market. The maple flavor comes entirely from artificial or natural flavoring added to mimic real maple. Some versions include a tiny percentage of actual maple syrup, but it's often so diluted that it barely registers nutritionally or in terms of genuine flavor that real maple provides. A single 2-tablespoon serving contains around 110 calories and 26 grams of sugar. That's pure processed sugar from corn, delivering a massive blood glucose spike without any trace minerals or antioxidants that genuine maple syrup naturally contains. Real maple syrup is expensive because it takes approximately 40 gallons of sap to produce just 1 gallon of finished syrup. This imitation costs a fraction of that price because corn syrup costs pennies to manufacture in bulk. When you pour it on pancakes, it looks right and tastes sweet enough to satisfy. But you're eating industrially processed corn, not natural maple from trees. The next item promises a sweet start to the day but leads with an ingredient every parent should know about before buying. 3 Great Value Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great. None, least that's what the marketing wants you to believe when you walk down the cereal aisle. Great Value Frosted Flakes sit right next to the name brand version, offering that same sweet, crunchy frosted corn experience for less money. Kids love them. Parents trust them. But the very first ingredient tells a story nobody wants to hear at breakfast. Sugar. It's listed before anything else, meaning there's more sugar in this cereal than any other single ingredient. A single serving of 1 cup contains around 12 grams of sugar. Most children pour significantly more than that, and many go back for seconds. That means your child could easily consume 30 grams of sugar before ever leaving for school in the morning. The base is milled corn, processed to remove fiber and nutrients. The enrichment process adds back some synthetic vitamins, but it doesn't restore what processing removed in the first place. What you're left with is sugar-coated refined grain that digests rapidly and provides very little lasting energy to fuel the day. Beyond sugar, the ingredient list includes high fructose corn syrup, salt, and BHT for freshness. BHT is a synthetic antioxidant that some health advocates have questioned, though it remains approved for use in food products today. When kids eat this cereal, the energy spike hits quickly. They feel energized and ready for the day, but within an hour or two, energy crashes hard, focus fades, irritability rises, and hunger returns with a vengeance. If sugar at breakfast worries you, wait until you see what passes as party food. 2 market-side loaded potato skins, crispy potato shells filled with melted cheese, bacon bits, and sour cream on top. Market-side loaded potato skins are the ultimate party appetizer, perfect for game day gatherings and casual entertaining with friends. They're indulgent, flavorful, and absolutely delicious. But indulgence comes at a steep nutritional cost. Let's break down what loaded really means here. The potato skins are prepared with significant amounts of oil to achieve that crispy golden texture. Then they're topped with processed cheese, bacon pieces loaded with sodium nitrate, and additional toppings designed to maximize flavor impact and keep you reaching for more. A single serving of 3 potato skins can contain upwards of 300 calories, 18 grams of fat, and over 700 milligrams of sodium. And let's be realistic about serving sizes at any gathering. Nobody eats just 3. Most people consume 6 to 9 pieces, easily approaching 1,000 calories and a full day's sodium intake in appetizer form alone. The ingredients include soybean oil, modified food starch, sodium phosphate in the cheese blend, and various preservatives to extend shelf life. These aren't simple baked potatoes with wholesome toppings. They're processed convenience foods engineered for maximum taste and minimum production cost. When you bite into one, the experience is undeniably satisfying. Salty, creamy, crispy, and rich. Every flavor receptor lights up immediately, but that satisfaction masks what's happening inside your body. Massive sodium intake and saturated fat overload hitting your system simultaneously. These potato skins belong at occasional celebrations, not regular rotation, but the number 1 item is something people eat daily, and it might be the most deceptive of all. 1. Great Value Bacon. We've arrived at number 1, and it might not surprise you after everything we've covered. Great Value Bacon sits in millions of refrigerators across America. It's affordable, convenient, and delivers that salty, smoky, crispy experience everyone craves. But behind that familiar package lies everything wrong with modern processed meat. Let's start with what's actually inside. Great Value Bacon is cured with water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrite. That last ingredient is particularly concerning. When bacon containing sodium nitrite is cooked at high temperatures, it can form compounds called nitrosamines, which research has linked to increased cancer risk with regular consumption over time. The water content is another issue worth understanding. This bacon is injected with a salt and water brine solution to increase weight and improve texture. That means you're paying for added water, not meat. When you cook Great Value Bacon, you'll notice dramatic shrinkage. Those strips that looked generous quickly become thin and swimming in rendered fat. Nearly half the volume simply disappears. A serving of just 2 slices contains around 370 milligrams of sodium. Most people eat 4 or 5 slices at breakfast, pushing sodium intake dangerously close to daily limits before noon even arrives. Over time, this contributes to high blood pressure, heart disease, and other health issues. The flavor delivers what you expect: salty, smoky, and familiar. But artificial smoke flavoring replaces actual hardwood smoking, and the taste carries a processed edge that quality bacon simply doesn't have. Great value bacon represents everything we've discussed today. Low cost, lengthy ingredient lists, and nutritional compromises dressed up in convenient packaging. It absolutely deserves the top spot on this list.